will never forget that moment when Dr. Besigye was brought before Justice Douglas Singiza upon our application for his relief, temporary relief. You know, we wanted, rather reprieve, we wanted that temporary relief from Justice Douglas Singiza on that account of failing health of Dr. Besigye. He was good to us and said, okay, fine, let me issue an order to have him produced. And he was produced. But we got a shock of our life when Justice Douglas Singiza looked at him and said, hey, he's in a terrible, terrible health situation. Take him back to Luzira lest he dies in my court. It was quite disturbing. You have a prisoner in your hands, incarcerated illegally, is on the brink of death. Instead of directing the authorities to take him to the hospital in an ambulance, you put him in a prison's truck back to prison. And subsequently, those people realized that actually Dr. health was in danger. Parliament convened, they sent there a committee. Myself, it was the first opportunity to visit the actual cell in the upper prison where Dr. Besigye is sleeping. That was my first time, because now this time I got an opportunity to accompany the Committee of Parliament Human Rights Committee, headed by Fox Odoye. I don't know whether he's still the head. So we went there. They all witnessed what was happening. Surprisingly, again, when they came back to Parliament, there was no remedy. No orders as to medication, whatever, nothing. So when they visited, they looked at Dr. Besigye was just there, literally, on his deathbed. But they were all helpless, never offered a solution. Until finally he was almost dying, that he was transferred to a facility in Bugorobi, private facility, where he got some treatment. And finally they succumbed to that pressure and transferred Dr. Besigye to the civilian court on the 21st day of February. And then the hunger strike was called off. The other thing, which is a key highlight of what we have gone through, are the multiple applications we have filed to get bail, as provided for under our constitutional framework. There are bail applications which are anchored on the discretion of court, but there is one which is mandatory. The first one we filed was before Justice Comfort Kanya. You recall how she surprised the entire country. Said, oh, I've seen the securities, they are all substantial. And the record of Dr. Besigye is well known. He's a citizen, a senior citizen for that matter, who will never abscond from the jurisdiction of court. And indeed, actually, had been subjected to similar charges, including rape, treason, terrorism, which are all grave offenses. But he never absconded and said he's a man of good record. He has a permanent residence. He's well known. But again, she brazenly told the world that I will not grant Dr. Besigye bail, despite the fact that he had satisfied all the requirements. And that's how it ended. We never tired from the fight, the efforts to push for his release. So he put in another application. This time around, it was allocated to Justice Issa Serunkuma. But on the day of the hearing, we got a surprise of our life when we found the files before Justice Emmanuel Baguma. And we asked, how did this happen? That, Justice Issa Serunkuma said, they had told him to back off the case. And they had brought Justice Emmanuel Baguma now, probably now, to replace Freeman Mugabe. Indeed, Baguma has treated the civilian court. Indeed, Baguma Emmanuel has treated this civilian court at high court more or less like a general court martial. In some cases, even worse. than Freeman Mugabe. In some cases, the least you would expect from a civilian court is to do the things, the horrible things Justice Baguma has done, including denying Dr. Besigye mandatory bail, which is a command of the Constitution under Article 23. With such outrageous and preposterous reasoning that Dr. Besigye's remand period while under the General Court Martial does not count. If you ask Justice Baguma today, has Dr. Besigye spent a year in jail? He will say no. According to his calculation and the mathematics he has conducted, it's not yet a year. But by that time, Dr. Besigye had spent more than 8 months on remand. And Justice Baguma said no. So he denied him mandatory bail. And many other applications we have filed, which you have also been following, recusal, transfer of the files to the Constitutional Court, all have been thrown out without any justifiable reason. It is also on record, we filed a matter before the East African Court of Justice. Unfortunately, the machinations from this regime have frustrated all the efforts of having the same fixed for hearing. Their maneuvers have gone beyond borders, and now the application, before the matter before the East African Court of Justice is also shelved. Liaising with our team in Nairobi, of course headed by Martha Karua, who is heading both the team here and Kenya, we filed another matter against the government of Kenya in the High Court at Kilimani in Kenya. Yes, it came up for conferencing. Again, unfortunately, for one reason or another, it was adjourned to Feb next year. That's how frustrating the legal battle has been to us. In a nutshell, for this 1 year, Dr. Besigye and Obed Lutalo have been on remand or in prison. There isn't even a single court order we have received in our favor. Not one. Not even a single intervention from any of the agencies charged with observance and protection of human rights, like the Uganda Human Rights Commission, Parliament, or any other agents, whether state or non-state agents. Nothing that we have received. Nothing has come to the rescue of Dr. Besigye and Obed Lutalo. So that paints to you the picture that this country is under state capture. All these institutions, rather, under state capture. That gives you that picture. And in essence, it means the constitutional order created by the current constitutional document has since been overthrown. This is a confirmation, a further confirmation of what we have always told the country, that we no longer have a constitutional order. All we have is a constitutional document which has been relegated to a mere paper tiger. But we have no constitutional order. And this is one thing we need to deal with. Now, this brings us to the way forward. As we told you, we shall recount you the experience of what we have gone through. Of course, we have not explained the void Dr. Besigye has left, the absence of Dr. Besigye has caused to the political scene of this country. And I think we need to address that. The void is felt by all of you, by all actors, across the political divide. The absence of Dr. Besigye from the political scene, the political colossus I've talked about, the political juggernaut I've talked about, is felt by all and sundry. I think every now and again, the question lingering on your mind when you witness political events unfolding, the question lingering on your mind, all of you, what would Besigye do? If there is any question that would weigh heavy on your mind, what would Besigye do under such circumstances? And that is a serious question we need to answer. Those of us who have interacted with him on several occasions at Luzira, these issues are weighing heavy on his mind. Now, this is the way forward. Number one, as the leadership of PFF at Katonga here, we have decided to declare a Besigye prayer week starting from today, with a call to all of you peace-loving Ugandans, not only members of PFF, but all peace-loving Ugandans. In all your prayers, private and public, to have Dr. Besigye at heart. Of course, with all the political prisoners. And in this prayer week, we ask all of you kindly during this prayer week. We know this is a political season. I mean, a politically charged season. We are all in campaigns. At all our campaign rallies, campaign meetings, campaign activities, we start the proceedings with a prayer for Dr. Besigye and all political prisoners. This request is not only to our candidates, but to all comrades in various political formations who are seeking for regime change. Related to that is the call to all of us, all of you, the candidates, starting with ourselves, the candidates. We prioritize the issue of freeing the political prisoners in all our campaigns. It should be at the forefront. It should be central in our message. It should be so central. It should be the captivating issue at hand. Because everything that we do starts with our freedom. We are all endangered. In the summary of the case, in this matter of Dr. Besigye and Obedi Lutale, which was presented before Her Worship Nantege, Christine in Nakawa, and subsequently filed in the High Court. My brother, the Honorable Semujunganda, Salam Musumba, and I were listed as accomplices. Don't forget that. And they indicated that, look, in all the meetings in Geneva, Greece, Nairobi, the person of Semujunganda, Salam Musumba, Lukwago, and others featured prominently. Maybe they are putting us on the radar, monitoring what we are doing, and anytime they can pounce on us. The Kisumu 36, where are you? Any of the Kisumu 36? You know what transpired? Do you recall the date when we were kidnapped from Kisumu? Yes? 24th, 23rd July. Can you forget that day? Anyway, you recall they started with our 36 Kisumu prisoners, captives, who were picked almost in the same fashion from their hotels, illegally renditioned, and arraigned before. Actually, before even they were charged, they were paraded at Kololo as terrorists. And they forced Samuel Makoha to address the press on behalf of the rest. Subsequently, we had to battle that matter, and they failed to bring evidence. Now, we are all endangered. So the call to all of us Please, it's a battle of our life. There are two Kenyans who were kidnapped from here, kept for close to 2 months. And Mr. Museveni had the qualms of telling the nation that these people are experts in demonstrations, mandamano. It's the reason they had been tucked away, kept away in a fridge, and subsequently dumped at the border point in Busia. Go back. Without following the due process, without a deportation order, without an extradition order, and that's how it happened. So it's incumbent upon all of us, ladies and gentlemen, to fight a battle of our life to free ourselves. So in all our campaigns and all the presidential candidates who are seeking for change, it's a call to all of us. We appreciate what happened in Rukungiri because the message was loud and clear. Free Besigye, free Besigye, free Besigye. That should reverberate throughout the campaign programs we are having. We ask that it shouldn't be a one-off, and we are asking that all of us, that should be the catchphrase, not only Besigye, but every political prisoner whom you know, and those who have disappeared. There are those in gazetted prisons. There are no activists who are in Luzira sharing the same jail with Dr. Besigye. There are those now kept away in ungazetted facilities, like the Kenyans explained, over 500, including Kahindo Tafire's brother, or relative for that matter, and some Mugumya. Up to now, we have gotten a number of habeas corpus orders, but in vain. So up to now, some Mugumya is just kept somewhere in the basement without being brought before court. So we need to collectively deal with this. So this call is not restricted only to candidates, but the entire citizenry, Ugandans, in your various capacities. This is a clarion call. It's a command under Article 3 of the Constitution that we should rise to the occasion. So we demand that we extricate ourselves from the bond or the bondage where we are kept, or the shackles rather. We have to extricate ourselves from the shackles of tyranny and brutality. That is number 2. Number 3, you are aware that for the last 1 year of incarceration of Dr. Besigye and Obed Lutale, the matter has not been heard on merit. Can you imagine? The state claims that they are still gathering evidence. Even by the time of Komito, you remember the Komito proceedings before before her worship of Christian. It was 29th May. They had just filed an application to access data on Dr. Besigye's phone. And that application is still pending before the magistrate court in Nakao. Meaning, actually, that they are still gathering evidence against Dr. Besigye. They made futile attempts to implicate Dr. Besigye in the court of public opinion by saturating those whatever choreographed recording, whatever, whether by AI or whatever, we don't know. We are yet to verify, so that they have Dr. Besigye convicted in the court of public opinion. And the likes of Andrew Mwenda, we are hyping on that too much. This Besigye. So now Mwenda has gone silent. We ask the likes of Mwenda, where are those videos, those recordings you were saturating around? You were hyping on them so much. He's a criminal, he's a criminal, he's a criminal, So we are asking the judicial, this is the call. We are asking the judicial, shouldn't be used as a torture chamber. You can do better, Justice Owinyi-Doro. You can do much, much better. There is no line now between the general court martial and the civilian court martial. There is no clear demarcation now between the general court martial and the civilian court martial.
You are correct. Because that is what it is.
It's not. distinction. So, Justice Owinidoro, you took oath to uphold the Constitution, to uphold the rule of law, to uphold the laws of this country. Why witness this kind of transgression and actually you abet it? So rise to the occasion. Let the judiciary stand its ground and say enough is enough to the extension of persecution within your realm. The judiciary is a temple of justice. Where should we run to? Justice Owinidoro, where should we go to? What is it that Dr. Besigye requires to do which he has not done to get out of jail? What